How is everybody today? I'm really excited to be here. Honestly, it's a pleasure and an honor. And I have 10 minutes to share with you the 3 secrets for living a life that's long and strong. Now, I'm assuming you all want to live a life that's long and strong. Can I get a show of hands, please? Excellent. So my time is going to be well spent, as will yours. Now, to create a life brimming with health, there are 3 secrets, right? I call them the 3 pillars of wellness. They are the 3 pillars that are your foundation, which can help you lead a healthful life and therefore the best version of your life possible. A life that's fulfilled, a life that is productive, a life that is healthy, a life that is well lived. So what's the first secret? The first secret is that your mindset matters. What is your mindset? Well, we all have strong beliefs, right? All of us do. So a mindset is just a strong belief. But you can change your mind, and just as you can change your mind, you can change your mindset. But before we talk about changing our mindsets, it becomes important to understand and recognize what mindset it is that we actually inhabit, and what mindset it is that we need to get rid of. So the mindset that we need to get rid of, I'm not going to keep any secrets from you anymore, I only have like 9 minutes left, is a fixed mindset. So a fixed mindset is one where we believe that our abilities, our talents are limited, where we think that this is all we can be, that we can't change and we can't grow. And while you may think on the surface that you don't really have a fixed mindset, I encourage you to go back home and think deeply about what your mindset is. Because I know I came from a fixed mindset till I read about this. Carol Dweck is sort of the famous researcher who's written about the mindsets. And what a fixed mindset does is that it makes us less likely to take risks. It makes us less able to handle failure because we believe that it threatens our sense of self, because this is all we can be, right? So if we fail, oh my God, it's the end of the world. It also makes us more prone to stress because we're afraid of failure. We're so afraid of failure. And it makes us less likely to engage in healthful behaviors and sustain them, because again, we feel like we have a limited capacity. The mindset that I'm going to invite you to inhabit and think about more as you leave this beautiful event today is the growth mindset. So growth mindset is one where you believe that your resources, your abilities, your talents can be expanded, can grow, you can become more resilient, you can become more capable with effort and with strategy and with better time management. Essentially, where you believe that you are not limited. It's a far more empowering space to be in, I'm sure you agree. And it's also great for your health. It's great for your mental health because you're less likely to get stressed. And it's going to make you more able to take risks, both at work and at play and at home. And it's going to make you more able to sustain healthful choices that you make. So you're going to be able to inhabit those healthful choices so that they become habits and therefore your behaviors. So with mindset, we recognize that the mind is really powerful, right? And I want to leave you at the end of these 10 minutes that I have with you, fully aware, and I know all of us already know this. I know that all of us already know how powerful the mind is and how important it is. But I'm really excited about the results of the study, and I want to share them with you. So this is called the counterclockwise study. It was done by Ellen Langer in the 1970s, quite a while ago. Ellen Langer was the first woman psychologist at Harvard. Pretty cool, right? And she did an amazing study with a group of 70-year-old men straight from the nursing homes in the United States. And she split them into 2. One group of men were kept in, or were asked to live in a resort. How many of you would enjoy doing that? Be part of a study where you get to be in a resort for 2 weeks? No show of hands? I know I would. Exactly, right? Fun. The other group, though, had a slightly more challenging ask. They were required to live together in a house and pretend as if they were in their 50s. So they had to cook and clean for themselves. Remember, some of these people had come from nursing homes. They had to, and some were in wheelchairs. They had to talk about their lives as if they were in their 50s. So they had to talk about their marriages from 20 years ago. They had to talk about their children as if they were, 20 years ago, 20 years younger. They had to talk about their professional lives as if they were in their 50s or from 20 years ago. And in their 50s, I would imagine they would have been at the peak of their careers. And now they were all retired. So 2 weeks pass, and I have these two groups of 70-year-old men who've gone through this experience. And then what she's done is that she's recorded their physical and mental health before she starts this exercise, and then she records it afterwards. And what she found was very interesting. Of course, they all were doing better on physical and mental parameters, as you would imagine, because people who go to a resort also feel better physically and mentally, right? Regardless of how old they are. But the ones who had lived in this house were doing dramatically better. So they were physically stronger, like literally their bicep strength had improved, which is not surprising because they were cooking and cleaning for themselves. Their eyesight had improved. Their mental abilities had improved. Their emotional acuity had improved. They'd improved on all markers. So the point here is that when our minds decide something, right? And they're forced to stay in that moment. So they were very much forced to behave like that through those 2 weeks. There were like videos given to them, newspapers, etc. So they were forced to stay in that moment. So when they had to do it that way, they actually found that their bodies followed suit. So their minds were pretending as if they were younger, and their bodies followed suit. Incredible. So that's the point here, that our minds are incredibly powerful, and we can choose to have a positive attitude about getting older, and therefore even living longer as a consequence, because a positive mindset on aging has been shown to help us lead a longer life. The second secret that I want to share with you today is self-compassion. So self-compassion, I know all of you have heard of compassion, but I want to talk to you about self-compassion. Now, self-compassion means being, okay, let's talk about what it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean self-indulgence. That's not what it is. Self-compassion is being kind to yourself. Being as kind to yourself as you would be to your best friend. Having the same voice in your head talking to you as the voice would be when it's talking to your best friend. So that's self-kindness for you. The second is recognizing that we're all part of the same common humanity. We share our humanity with each other. We're all human beings in this room, which means we all have our trials and tribulations. We all have our successes and failures. We're all special, and we're not alone. So it's important for us to remember that we're not alone, right? And that comes when we sort of grasp self-compassion and inhabit it. And the third piece is mindfulness. So mindfulness means being aware of what's happening inside us, or self-awareness, and being aware of what happens around us. And what being mindful does is it helps us be aware of what's going on in terms of the self-talk in our heads, the environment around us, so we can change our habits to suit our lives better, so that we can inhabit the growth mindset, for example, inhabit a positive mindset about aging, yet another example, and therefore allow ourselves to lead the best versions of our lives. Why be more self-compassionate? You'll be more resilient to stress. Research shows us that self-compassionate people are also physically healthier. And because there's less self-criticism, the self-talk is healthier, you're going to be less prone to anxiety and depression. And women are more prone, unfortunately, to both of these than men, because our stress hormone levels sort of don't have the dampening effect that male physiology affords them. So we are particularly more prone to stress than men are. Self-compassion also, from a productivity angle, whether at work or at home, makes us less likely to procrastinate. It sounds counterintuitive, but it's true. The third secret of leading a long and fulfilling life is having strong friendships and widening your social network. So Dan Buettner is this National Geographic fellow who went out into the world to examine the special pockets of land that exists in various parts of this world where people live unusually long lives. And he called these places blue zones. And he found that in these blue zones, though disparate in where they were located, so there was one in Sardinia, another one in Okinawa, all of these places, the people shared certain common cultural norms and ways of living. But the one that I want to bring to your attention today is the fact that all of these people had strong ties within their family, with their friends, a tight circle of friends, and they had a wide network of acquaintances. And Dan correlated that with the fact that these people were extraordinarily mentally resilient, and of course they lived extraordinarily long lives, healthily and happily. So what I'm suggesting you today is to nurture your small group of friends. Be selfless with them, spend time with them, engage with them in certain rituals, whether it's coffee or a drink every month, a coffee every week, whatever works. And when you nurture your small friendships, guess what? You have them in your time of need, because we all go through our stressful moments in life. We all have life's challenges, and we need our friends and our family to get through them. The other, of course, is build your network of acquaintances. This is where social networking sites like Facebook become particularly useful. I don't know about you, but I've met old friends from class, from my school days in Delhi at Air Force Bal Bharti through Facebook, and I've met old college friends that I lost touch with through Facebook. So it's fantastic to be able to use these social networking sites for that reason. So again, 3 secrets to living a long and fulfilling life: social networks, strong friendships being the one, self-compassion being the second, and the third is having a growth mindset that allows you to be positive about your life as you go through it. Thank you.